warning tonight for those of you who like to curl up with a good book to help you fall asleep at night.
Yeah, you may be hurting your sleep if you use an e-reader. CBS 2's Dr. Max Gomez is here to tell us why an old-fashioned book may actually be better. Max.
You know, that's right. Dick and Christine, sleep experts, have been telling us for a while to shut off the computer, quit emailing, and no more texting for at least an hour before bedtime if you want a good night's sleep. Reading a book is okay, but it turns out that many electronic book readers emit a type of light that may disrupt your sleep. Bill Belly spends hours on electronic devices, especially in the evening.
I'll go and start looking at my iPad, whether I'm surfing the internet or reading a book.
But new research shows using light-emitting electronic devices in the hours before bedtime could be keeping you awake longer. Harvard researchers had 12 patients read books on an iPad for 4 hours before bed for 5 nights. Another group read paper books for 5 nights. Then they switched to reading e-books and paper books.
Exposure to blue enriched light from these devices shifts our circadian rhythms to a later hour, suppresses the release of the sleep-promoting hormone melatonin, and makes it more difficult for us to fall asleep.
While the study looked at iPads, researchers also measured other e-readers, laptops, and cell phones, which all emitted blue light. Researchers also found people exposed to screens were more sleepy the next morning and were less alert after getting 8 hours of sleep.
One of our major concerns is that sleep deficiency is associated with an increased risk of cardiovascular disease, of metabolic diseases like obesity and diabetes.
Belly says the study makes him wonder about his use of devices.
I'm not a good sleeper, so it's really hard for me to tell if it's just the iPad.
He says he'd consider going back to reading paper books if it meant getting a better night's rest. And if you're emailing and texting, the mental stimulation on top of the blue light can make matters even worse. Plus, recent studies show suppressing the hormone melatonin is also linked with increased risk of breast cancer, colorectal cancer, and prostate cancer. Dick, Christine?
All right, Dr. Max, thank you. That's kind of a routine, though, is to check your email right before bed, right?
That's right. And also the screen. I mean, if you're watching TV, that sounds like no bargain either. But that's another program, though, you know.
We're all just horrible, right? Bad
Yeah.
habits, bad habits.